Here's something I wish I knew over a decade ago: resilience based risk assessment. The modern day tool that we use actually aligns really well with Indigenous knowledge coming out of British Columbia. But the modern model, in Munyao colonizer terms, is about response, planning or preparation, how you learn from the response, and then how do you anticipate disasters in the future. So that model, and it's all about creating value processes, meaning you start at the value system of the community, the strengths, the culture, and try to understand how all of that can come together during an emergency or disaster to help respond and recover. Then you get into the little bit more technical things around how are your community systems functioning in terms of power, information technology, the road system, even getting into HR and financial processes. How can you make those a little bit more resilient? And then third, you get into anticipation is all about how do you forecast or foresee into the future? How are the things going on around you going to affect you in 5, 10, 15, 20 years? And what systems do you have in place to let you know if there is an emergency or disaster in the area? So when you combine an assessment of how do you anticipate, how do you respond, learn from, and plan, and even communicate, all of those things within our assessment help you develop gap analysis that will give you a report and recommendations on what can you do to be a little bit more resilient without necessarily focusing on the traditional emergency management framework of mitigation, preparedness, response, and recovery. It goes a little bit deeper into that and relies more on community strengths, values, and culture. So as you go forward in your community organization, think about anticipation, responding, planning, communicating, and learning.